What a get. 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 This is amazing right here.
Pinch.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode 62 of Beyond the Court. I'm going to bring in my co-host, Leo Vasquez. What's up, Leo?
Suds, good evening. Welcome back. Thanks for having me again. We got a big show tonight.
Yeah, it's an important show, and I apologize in advance. As you know, I'm picking up Veronica's mom here at the airport, so I'm in a hotel. And so far, so good on the Wi-Fi. Leo and I, we have some codes. Our producer in the background, Simone, he makes sure that if we need to, we can refresh. So if you see me pop out and come back in, it's probably something technical, but I will be back. First off, we appreciate, everyone sharing the show. We appreciate you taking the time. We came out here pretty quick, and, we found it an important topic. Leo and I, we saw what was going on. That big announcement by USA Racquetball, Leo. We're going to have a great guest tonight. My friend, a guy that has taken a job to me that is not an easy one, but we'll get to that. Mike Grisz is going to be with us tonight, the executive director of USA Racquetball.
Yeah, pretty excited. We had planned on doing a show. We had a lot of other topics to talk about, but when we got together and and had our meetings, and you entertained the thought of at a critical time right now, to have the guy that's actually the new executive director. I mean, this just isn't anybody. This is Mike Grisz. We're going to get into his background tonight, how he became the executive director, why he became the executive director. It's going to be a good show tonight. I hope everybody out there has questions. Like we had said before, we want real answers from Mike tonight. So we would like real questions, no attacks, no insults, no nothing. We want to hear from him what the plans are going forward. So yeah, big show. We'll cover that. We'll go over a big announcement, 3 Wallball. We've got some IRT updates, Treasure Coast updates, and then fan hot topics. So get ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. But before we get into that, I see Mike Martinez is in the house. What's up, Mike? Pro Kennex always representing. Leo, we have a big announcement. I was driving down. We were talking with Mike Coulter, Keith Miner, some really cool things. So check it out. It's official. It is official. As Mike said, he just has to cross one T, dot one I, nothing major.
Wow.
We have official dates set for the KWM Gutterman 3 Wallball World Championships. They will be September 27th through October 1st, 2023, hosted at the Strat Hotel and Casino. And of course, KWM Gutterman, Keith Miner, once again, coming through, Leo. So Mike Coulter is super excited. His crew, we're excited. We're going to be part of that. What are your thoughts, man?
Wow, I'm super excited. I was just, I get to talk to MC periodically, and I just said, look, man, I can't wait for the next one. And he said, well, I'm about to release the date. The ink is almost dry, and this is your invitation from MC. That's why he put this out. This is for everybody. Here it is. You can scroll in your phone and you can go mark that date right there. Mark the 26th. Get there the day before. Get there 2 days before. But get there the day before and then fly out either the first or even stay an extra night and stay till the second. But put it on your calendar. I promise you, I went to my very first outdoor tournament, and my very first one was this tournament. And as you can see, that photo that Carla took of herself, that is the Las Vegas Strip. It's right in between the Strat and the courts. There's no better outdoor setup and maybe even indoor setup than what Mike Coulter does. So look at that photo and just imagine yourself taking that same photo next year.
Yeah, it's a great event. It's going to be a great time of year too. I mean, the temperature is going to be perfect, ideal. The weather's amazing. Now, Leo, Mike told me something. He doesn't have all the details, but MC, if you're watching, I'm sure you are because you watch every show. And by the way, everyone, we appreciate it. We see, there's over 75 viewers already between YouTube, Twitter, and of course, Facebook here. Share this feed, get it out there, talk about it, engage. The more we get it out, the better it is for racquetball. The more we talk about racquetball, it's important. But so Leo, MC told us that he's got some big news coming up as well for that event, which will be, all I can say is that probably the biggest names in the history of the sport will be involved in Vegas.
I'm not surprised. So put it on your calendar. There's your invitation. There's the date. And I'm sure we'll be talking more about the 3 Wallball, KM, WM Gutterman, the title sponsor. I'm sure Mike will have his other sponsors lined up as we go. But once again, thank you, Keith, for always making it happen for us.
Yeah, Keith, thank you. Mike Coulter, thank you. We'll have Mike on the show soon. All right, Leo, we're going to take a quick commercial, and then we're going to be back with the Executive Director of USA Racquetball, Mike Grisz. And don't move. Be ready. Go grab a coffee, a tea, a beer, a glass of wine, whatever it is that's going to make you enjoy racquetball. And we'll be back. We'll be right back with Mike Grisz. Don't move. FrankHotels.com, Leo, one of our guys, one of my main sponsors. Mark, we love you. Leo, you got the open door to one of his hotels. I know he invited you. I was there on that FaceTime. And guess what? We're not there yet, but we're going to develop a promo code for racquetball players. So hopefully we can get some racquetball players to go visit his sites. With that, let's bring in the Executive Director of USA Racquetball, Mike Grisz, as soon as he pops back in. Did you see that, Leo? How was the timing on that?
He's in and he's out. He went back to work. He's got stuff to do.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to lead off with a question, and everybody, so everybody knows. We told Mike straight out. We said, Mike, this is a difficult discussion from his position. We're going to let you, the fans, the members, speak. And it's important that you do. I know we have a ton of questions lined up. Mike literally was in the back room, and he just, I don't know, did Simone kick him out, Leo? What happened there?
Let's see if we can message our guest.
Where did Mike go? Did the producer? So point being, we did not, Mike, Leo, and I, and our producers, we did not discuss any of the questions that were going to come up. So here he is, Leo. Let's bring in Mike Grisz. Mike.
Oh, good.
Can you hear us okay?
Good evening, Mike. Can you hear us okay?
Hi, Leo. Hi.
It's a little
hear me?
choppy, Leo. So, yeah, we can hear you now, Mike.
Computer.
So I'll go. We'll be patient. You know, hopefully it'll improve a little bit here. If not, you can jump out and come back in. So, Mike, first I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to be here, because I know you've been dealt a horrendous hand, and we'll talk more about that. But I thought it was important, and Leo thought it was important, you know, for you to have the ability to just kind of piggyback and speak on that really heavy announcement that you released just 2 days ago. It really puts us in the state of where we're at, and it's important that you were here. So, Mike, first off, I just want to say thank you to you for being here.
To do it was something that always been said, that we're not transparent, be extremely transparent of this, and so that was attached what I call the doomsday that are on email and on media boost.
Leo, should we have Mike get out and come back in?
Yeah, he can try that.
Okay.
Yeah, Simone just gave Leo the word in the earpiece.
Yeah, so while he comes in, just so everybody knows, to give you guys some context, on October the 14th, USA Racquetball announced the appointment of Mike Grisz to executive director.
I mean, how's this?
Much better. Hi, Karen.
Oh, good. A real computer instead of my iPad. Sorry.
You know what? That's ideal. Thank you so much. And thank you, Karen, because I know, Mike, that you did not do that. So wherever Karen went to. So, Mike, again, go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you again for being here. I know you're dealing with so much daily. We speak often, but you can't tell me really anything because everything's confidential.
No,
so
it's not right now. I don't plan on being. When we sent the letter out, we were trying to be as forthcoming as possible on our situation. And we didn't pull any punches. Everybody knows the amount of money that was lost on the Open. Everybody knows the amount of money we need to raise so I can see the ground again. And that was purposeful.
Yeah, I think that was a great idea. Mike, I'm going to lead this off because, Leo, I know you and Simone, you have a ton of questions from members and fans, and that's really what it's all about. But I know what you've been dealing with on a personal level, Mike. You took this job for zero pay. And I got to be honest, a lot of people were asking me to take this position or be part of it. And as well as me, I couldn't do it and wouldn't do it for free. You're in essence doing it for free, but you're also putting your own money into this.
Yeah.
And it's quite amazing. But Mike, before you go on, because I want people to really understand how much you're dealing with. You said to me not too long ago, you said, Sudsy, if you took this job, you wouldn't last a day. So I want you to tell everybody what you meant by that.
Well, if you would have asked me in the middle of September even that I would be sitting on this show as the executive director of the USAR, I wouldn't have believed it. Things kind of came together rather quickly. Mike Waddell resigned. Part of the reason he resigned was the USAR, USA Racquetball, could not afford to pay his salary anymore. All right, so now we don't have an executive director. There isn't a lot of people that are willing to do this for free. I mean, I've basically either ran or co-ran the IRT for 4.5 years before I took this job. I resigned from the IRT to take this. So that's where it was. There was really not a lot of people besides me who wanted to step up and do it. I've been wanting to give back to racquetball for the last 6, 7, 8 years. And here I am. It's much more difficult than I envisioned it would be. When I agreed to take it, I did not know the extent of the loss nor the extent of the situation we were going to be in. Not that I wouldn't have done it anyway, but I didn't. And then basically a week after I left, Renee quit. And say what you want, she knew a lot about the intricacies of being an NGB, a governing body under the USOPC, which we want to be. And so I've had to learn that. I have to deal with our favorite thing, safe sport. And I can't tell you how I sat in on a 5-hour safe sport audit 2 weeks ago. And that stuff is unhappily necessary. And then I am trying to deal with getting us out of a financial situation that is not good. And so here we are. The first thing I'm doing, my main focus right now, and we'll talk about a plan. The main focus of the plan right now is to be able to exist. I've agreed to do this job through the end of 2023. It will probably drag on longer than that. I mean to make this a viable organization. There were some missteps previously, but we are where we are, and we're going to go forward. I'm put in a couple of programs. If you read through the letter, you see some of the things that we're trying to do.
Mike, I want to read just a little bit to give people some context, because everybody probably doesn't keep up with a lot of these things, but it was just only on October the 14th, very recent, that USA Racquetball released the announcement and the appointment. And I want to read it. On October the 14th, USA Racquetball announced the appointment of Mike Grisz to executive director. Mike assumes this position in an unpaid capacity to support the association and the sport. With this move to the role of USAR executive director, Mike immediately vacates his seat on the National Board of Directors, which he has held since 2020, and he has resigned his leadership with the International Racquetball Tour. Then, as you mentioned, just yesterday, an important message from the board of directors and yourself was released, providing the information that you talked about. You've only been in this position for about 45 days, 46 days now. What's it?
Probably a week and a half before the announcement. I found out at the Open.
Mm-hmm.
I basically started unofficially right after the Open because I had 5 days to transition with Mike Waddell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the day after that, or it wasn't more than 2 or 3 days into past October 14th, that Renee resigned. So yeah, it's been a joyride so far.
In that short amount of time, though, what has it been like for you, and how much progress have you made? Because I know you've made some progress, and I'm sure people would want to hear that.
Well, actually, I've been actually on an upswing the last couple of days. We still have a long way to go on the financial situation, and I'll talk about the one program that was in the letter in a second. But we just had Giving Tuesday. It wasn't quite as good as I wanted, but it was still okay. We're getting our arms around the USOPC stuff. We get a number of grants from them, and I'm finally confident that we're going to be able to qualify for all those grants next year, which is going to be very helpful to stay alive.
How much are those grants, Mike?
The total of the grants is, and some of the grants aren't quite cash, but the cash grants are in excess of 100. But part of the grant is an administrative grant. 40,000 of it is an administrative grant. And we have to contract that out, which we are going to do. And that what that does is it gives me somebody to designate some of the administrative stuff that we have to do, being an NGB and being safe sport, etc. I'm actually going to be the safe sport contact person. I can't believe I'm saying this.
So more on your plate. So you get more on your plate. That's
well, I mean, the most important things that we're doing, number one is to get out of this financial situation. I'm confident we're going to do it. It might be easier if my donor program goes through. I'll talk about that in a second. But if that doesn't go through, it's not like I'm going to stop. Once we get the financial situation going, we have 4 national events coming up in the first half of this year. We're planning for them. I've got the R2s out for 2 of them. The first 2, singles, doubles in high school. Collegiate R2 will be out in a week. That's the end of March or mid-March. Junior R2 will be out before the end of the year, mid-December, and that's the end of June. And I have extremely qualified people working with me on the high school tournament, the collegiate tournament, and the juniors tournament. I'm astounded and amazed at the people working with the next generation people. Just really the Liz Yee of Oregon, Dan Whitley, Danny Rodriguez on the collegiate, Brian Dixon of the juniors. These are stellar people that we have that are going to help put these tournaments on. I will be at most of these tournaments, as will my wife, Karen, who most of you know. And we're going to help run these tournaments. We pay for our own way to go there, by the way. And I'm not trying to do that to get a pat on the back. The USAR can't afford to send me. I'm the executive director. I need to go and I need to do that.
Hey, by the way, you both deserve a pat on the back, and that's okay. You can.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll give myself a pat on the back, Sudji.
Yeah, you can. You're definitely worthy of that, Mike. So let me ask you. Talk about, because I believe that the financial situation and that letter was kind of the meat and potatoes before we get to all the questions from your members and fans and players. Really take us through that. Take us through the finances right now, where we're at, what you need, and talk to everybody right here.
Okay. We have money available to spend right now of a little less than $100,000. I owe accounts payable not notes payable In other words, money I should be paying right away, probably 160 plus. So that sounds like we're insolvent, which is probably true. But it's okay. I mean,
I told you he'd be honest, guys.
That doesn't include the Giving Tuesday money we're going to get. That doesn't include the fact that I'm going to try as hard as I can to make my what I call my angel donor program work. And if I get those, if that happens, and I get in another $75,000 or $100,000, I will be astounded. And what that does then is allows us not to owe anybody any money. I never answer my phone if I don't know the number, but I get a lot of messages right now about money that we owe to people, and that sucks. I haven't owed a dime in my own personal life to anybody for 30 years, so it just sucks to deal with that. And we're going to get out of that. So that's the first situation. That's my main concern. We're going to stay in business until, I don't, since we really don't have an office, we're going to stay in business. We are. So
tell me, Mike, tell everybody, not me and Leo, I know you got all the questions lined up and there's tons flying in right now. Mike, break it down. Best case, worst case. We can't pay those bills. What happens?
We're going to pay those bills, Sudsy. I'm not going to do that. But if you can't pay the bills and, people start getting judgments against you, I mean, we don't have a lot of assets that people can repossess. But just keep in mind that a lot of things have changed. And number one is that our salary expense is down 75%. And it's not going to change. We have an executive director who is not paid. I have a, believe it or not, I have an intern, which I'm starting to fill up with work, who is a senior at Missouri, who will work 40 hours a week, he said, next semester. My wife, Karen, is working 15 or 20 hours a week free for the USAR, as well as being the CFO of the IRT. So, I mean, and I've got a lot of the other board members. I mean, Stuart Solomon, our USA president, took a 3 months leave of absence, and he's working away with me as well. And then I have other volunteers. Cheryl Kirk is an unbelievable resource to me, and she's right now in Guatemala being the team leader for the junior team. You know, without the core of volunteers that we have, I don't know. We are almost an all volunteer organization. We have one paid staff person. That's Connor Shane, and I will chain him to the desk to make sure that he stays with USAR. So anyway, so that's where we are. We are. It's not a comfortable position where we are right now, but it seems to be getting better. I need people to keep their memberships. We're going to start calling every single member, particular people who have expired recently and did not re-up, and those who are expiring soon. This will be done by board members, so we can reach out. One of the things that I think the previous administration did not do well, and I'm not trying to cast any aspersions during this call, but I think we need to reestablish ties. The USA Racquetball needs to reestablish ties with the racquetball community. If there's anybody on this call that you want to talk to me or you want to email me, go ahead and do it. I'm happy to respond. I will respond. You know, I want USA Racquetball to still be here. USA Racquetball is the governing body of United States Racquetball. You know, there are a lot of people out there, and I love Keep Racquetball Great, but there are a lot of people out there when I read things that seem to indicate that it's not necessary, and no USA Racquetball, then there's no U.S. team. I mean, I don't know what you feel about it, but I know the American pros like the idea of a U.S. team. We have a Pan Am Games coming up in Chile in next October, and I'm spending time preparing us for that. And that's I would hate the idea of not having a U.S. team, and that would hurt racquetball in all those countries that that go to those games, that go to the World Games, that go to the Pan Am Games, because no United States team cheapens the competition for them. So I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt racquetball in Mexico and Bolivia. If you haven't noticed, you know, in the IRT, there's a lot of players from Mexico and Bolivia that are pretty good. The other thing is that I've played racquetball. My first racquetball tournament was almost 50 years ago. I like playing in the national events. I'm actually going to miss singles and doubles, but I like playing in the national events. I've won a U.S. Open a couple of times. I've won national singles a couple of times. I like to play. And if anybody on the call that's played me probably knows I'm not the nicest guy on the court, but I'm really competitive.
You can't be nice to win a U.S. Open, Mike. I know a thing or two about that.
All right. Well, so, you know, the fact is that USA Racquetball runs these national events. I talked about the 4 major national events in the first half of the year, which is singles and doubles and high school and collegiate and juniors. And then we also have a small minor side event, which is the adult team qualifying standalone event in Chicago, the same weekend that national singles would have been. And we for a lot of reasons, we had to do it that way. And so that's the first half of the year. I'm focused on doing that. Those tournaments must make money. We're not going to run a tournament that thanks, Lance. We're not going to run a tournament that does not make money. And I know that seems like a revelation considering what happened at the Open, but we're not going to run a tournament that doesn't make money, that doesn't turn a profit.
What happened at the Open for those that don't know?
We lost $170,000. I am not going to go into that other than saying that obviously in 2023, to have an Open, if we have an Open, and I'm saying it that way, if we have an Open, we have got to get sponsorship just to have the event that we had last year, which I know a lot of people didn't really like, but we have to get $150,000 of sponsorship. We basically had zero last year. So, and I mean, when you lose 170 and you have no sponsorships, that kind of tells you something. I mean, you start off with the fact that at the U.S. Open, which is different from the other tournaments, because at the U.S. Open, we start out $75,000 in the hole with the money we pay to the pros. And anyway,
Mike, just for the fans, because again, to put that into perspective, you said that the Open lost to 170,000, and yes, you were not in charge, you were not the executive director. But what did the Open profit say the year previous? And I know it's all public.
I mean, it was Ganem. It was much different. Obviously, we netted over 100. So I mean, it was a difference of $270,000. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out where we are. And somebody asked the question, Lance Hale, did Nationals at A&M lose money too? And the answer is yes. It was a no-brainer to combine singles into doubles. Singles as a standalone tournament is not, no matter where it's at, is not a big tournament. We needed to combine singles to doubles. It worked out better for the team qualifying. The Arizona State in February is one of the most popular venues we have. I lived in Texas for over 30 years. That's how Leo and I go way, way back. But College Station is not easy to get to, and there's not a lot to do besides play racquetball. Phoenix is a lot different.
It was a cool club, though.
Yeah, it is. Well, but it's a lot like the one in Arizona State.
ASU is way cooler, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, ASU is you walk from the hotels. The weather is nice in February there, and you're 20 minutes from the airport. And you've got many things to do in the Phoenix area. College Station is just different, and
it would probably be fun during a Texas A&M football game, but other than that, there wasn't much to do for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it's singles is on a standalone event anywhere is tough. Racquetball is for the participants at least is very popular in doubles. I'm hoping that we get a good turnout at singles doubles. I know it's close to Longhorn. It's been close to Longhorn historically. I played Longhorn many, many times. I wish I could play it this year, but I can't play that one either. So, that's where we are in singles and doubles. What else?
All right. Mike, again.
Did I answer your question on the finances?
I can't thank you enough. No, for being here, really, because I know how hard you're working. Again, we speak often. I supported you getting into this position, and now I'm almost mad at myself because I know you're dealing with a lot daily, but this isn't a pity party. You're here. You're accepting it. Leo, I mean, just let's go right to the members, right to the fans.
Can I do one thing first?
You can do whatever you want.
Just talk about my angel donor program.
Yes.
I'm trying to find eight or more people, and please don't, if those of you hearing this for the first time, don't fall off your chair. Eight or more people that will give USAR between $5,000 and $10,000. Eight people or more between 5 and 10. If I find that, and I've got commitments from 2 or 3 kind of, but I'm going to I've really just started the outreach on this because I've been getting my arms around it. if I get the 8, and let's just say we get 10,000 each, which isn't going to happen. I'll get more closer to 40, but whatever the case may be, let's just say it's 10,000 each, $80,000. Stuart Solomon, the president of USA Racquetball, and I will each match the average donation. So if we had 80,000 from 8, and the two of us, we would have $100,000. And the reason I'm doing that isn't because I'm super wealthy. It's more because I know all these guys that I'm talking to about doing this, and I couldn't look them in the eyes if I wasn't putting my own money in. I mean, you know, people a lot of times will say to me, very truthfully, I've seen this movie before about the USAR. We've had financial difficulties before, almost gone bankrupt, etc. What can happen? What's going to change that it won't happen again? And I can't give a good answer. It won't happen under my watch, but that's the way it is. I'm trying right now. I want to save the organization. I want to keep it going. That was the same goal I had when I started working and took over as the CEO of the IRT. You know, we need the Pro Tours. We need the USAR. And that's what we need. And I'm passionate about doing a good job. Happily, I have a wife that is extremely supportive in doing this, although she almost killed me when I said I'd take this job. But now she's helping me. And so, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
No, Mike, nobody, I won't allow anybody to question your dedication and passion for the sport, you and Karen. So that's not the issue. Leo, you know, I know Simone and you in the back end have a bunch of questions lined up. The great Frank Lopez took tons of questions from anonymous individuals. Leo, go ahead. I mean, it's Mike's stage. It's his platform. I think this is for the members, for the players, for the fans. Fire away.
Yeah, Mike, it's been great listening to you. So what we want to do here, as we promised, was we'll fire out some questions. They don't have to be lengthy answers, but there's a lot of them. We want to just at least deliver on what we said. You're more than welcome to answer them any way you want. If you can't comment on it, we totally understand that. All right.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. We'll
there
start.
won't be anything I can't comment on. There'll be things I may not know the answer for.
Thank you. All right, let's go with this one right here.
Attitude.
Glenn asks, what are the areas which Mike has targeted which need volunteers?
That's a good question. You know, whenever you hear that's a good question, that usually means I don't have a good answer. What I need, I mean, I always need volunteers at the tournaments we run at the national events. I appreciate that more than anything. I realize at tournaments this year that we're going to be very stingy with hospitality, like no hospitality at singles and doubles, and probably no hospitality if we do an open, or when we do the open. I'll be optimistic, and that will actually obviate the need for a lot of for some of the volunteers. But we need volunteers all the time running the tournament desk. The other thing we need volunteers for is, you know, what I need people on the grassroots level to get to their clubs and get out and play and get out and start a league. And I know the USAR needs to help more about that. I get it. But we need people to play. We need it so when you walk in to the LA Fitness at a prime time for racquetball, you need to see all the courts being done, being played in. Yeah, we need to teach kids. And you know, I was talking to somebody last week about, well, what are you doing for the juniors, and for the next generation? And the answer is if you look, we have 3 national tournaments coming up. Or 4 national tournaments coming up. 3 of them are next gen tournaments. And like I said, if anything makes me happy I took the job, it's the level of cooperation I get from the people that are going to help me run those tournaments. So, yeah, I mean, we need people at a grassroots level to get out and play. When we lose courts, I'm really digressing. I'm sorry. When we lose courts because they're not being used.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, and so, get a friend out to play in tournaments. If you're not a tournament player, but you see a tournament, go play.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay.
All right, moving along. Norm McNutt has a question, and he says, has the USAR paid for the courts yet from the last U.S. Open? Assuming club runs.
No. Nope, that's one of the ones we own. Thanks, Norm.
Okay, next question from Kierty. Kierty says, it's frustrating to hear about national events when there is no sustainable model for the growth of the game. Isn't it obvious that the organization can't keep doing what it has been doing for the last few years and survive?
Absolutely agree. Tell me what we should do, Curdy.
All right, let's go to the next one from.
I mean, it's absolutely agree. But one thing I'm going to do for the next year is keep this organization alive. I agree that the whole racquetball community needs to figure out a way to do just what I was saying, back to Curdy's question, in getting people out playing and getting young people to play, etc.
All right. Robert Lyons. Okay, what will be different because you were not the executive director just 3 months ago, but you were on the board with many others that are still on the board?
Well, on the board, I was one voice out of 12. And now the board listens to me. It's amazing what happened in the last couple of months in that regard. Mm-hmm. And so being in a leadership role is something that I wasn't really asking for, but I did it at the IRT and I'm doing it now. I don't want to live on history. I will tell you that over the next year, when we run those national events, they will make money, or you can fire me. I'm okay. You can fire me right now, but I mean, I'll leave, as long as you give me a severance equal to 3 months' pay.
Okay, Grisz, we had a lot of questions from KRG, but I don't know if we can get to all of them. So we went ahead and pulled some of them.
Go as many as you want. I can stay here as long as you want.
And we're going to run through them here really quick.
Wait, can Karen hear me? Karen, is that true?
Yeah, she can hear you.
Do we have him as long as we want?
All right, first question. What can your organization offer donors in exchange for a donation?
The fact that we will stay in existence. I mean, when you give money to any charitable organization, you really don't get anything back other than the satisfaction of giving the donation. If you're giving a donation to USA Racquetball or any racquetball related entity, it's tax deductible, obviously, but you're doing it because you love the sport. I played this game for 50 years. I played it today. Didn't have the best day, but it was great playing it. And I love it every time I step on the court, and I want to keep playing it. If USAR goes away, I'll probably still have the courts at LA Fitness that are 10 minutes from here. I'll still have the outdoor courts that are less than 2 miles from here. But I don't want that. I want to be able to go play at the U.S. Open next year, or next year's singles and doubles that we won't set up a vacation for, and things like that. So I want to keep the organization alive. I think racquetball, which is seriously suffering right now, would really, really get close to a death blow without the USAR. And and people may disagree with me on that, but it's a sense of community. I mean, that's why I love KRG. I love the fact that we have a racquetball community.
Frank and Norm, did you hear that from the executive director?
I mean, I've never met Norm. I've texted with him a little bit, but I admire what he does.
Hey, I need somebody cut that, and I want that on like a replay, Leo. That's pretty good.
You can put it. You can put.
All
You
right.
can put the video on KRG.
Mike, I'm going to ask you the most difficult one because this is one that comes often, and this could hopefully kind of summarize everything we're going to continue to discuss here. And this is, I believe, likely your biggest obstacle.
Okay.
If USAR goes away, it goes bankrupt. What happens? How does it affect our sport, the growth of our sport, the future of our sport?
I thought I was pretty clear about that, but I'll repeat myself.
Thank you.
No U.S. team, no U.S. national
All right,
event.
well, let's take it one by one. Stay there. Okay, benefits of the U.S. team, because this is part of the KRG questions also. If we've had the U.S. team all these years, but we're at where we are today, is it time to make a different change and maybe look at a different path as far as, listen, I'm a potential U.S. team member. Alex and I may play again in February.
Okay.
But there's a very smart man in our sport who calls it the 5% rule, right? And that's the 5% of the total worldwide racquetball players that play events. That number is even smaller when it comes to national team events. So is that really a benefit to the sport growing and continuing and being alive, or is it more just optics?
Well, optics is something that contributes to the sport being alive, Sudsy. I will never, ever think that we would be better off without a U.S. team. The same thing with national events. And again, remember, 3 of the 4 national events I've been talking about are next-gen national events. Why in the world would we want to give those up? Those kids have something to play for with those national events. All right, some of them, again, maybe it's a small slice, but it's a slice that has visibility. It gives you something to talk about. I just will never ever agree with the idea that I want to give up either of those things. And that doesn't even talk about the fact that you have a body that's in charge of rules. You have the R2 system. You have, the insurance that is procured through the USOPC. I can go on and on about this, that it is, to me, vitally important. You have the membership roles that are there. You have it is something else that fosters a sense of community, which I think is extremely important in racquetball right now, which again is why I go back to liking KRG, because it's another source of the community.
Yeah, I can't disagree. And look at that question by Glenn Gitterman that Simone just put up. Young players in any sport need something to aspire to. Glenn, I agree with you 100%. I've been in the sport over 40 years, and I was that kid that chased the Olympic dream. Leo, Mike, we speak about it all the time. Every time I've ever been on the U.S. team and I meet somebody that doesn't know our sport, the next question 99.9% of the time is, oh, you guys are in the Olympics. The answer is no, but I am a big proponent. I believe we need a strong professional tour. And I also believe that we continue this junior attack the juniors. I was enlightened, and I shared this, I believe, with you, Mike, and some others in our sport, how it's not just juniors. Veronica and I, we ran a program. We ran 100 kids that have never touched a racket through a program all summer. And after speaking with some of the parents, and Leo, we discussed this, what I learned was it wasn't the kids. They weren't the problem. The issue was we need to get those parents interested and involved in the sport. And then in turn, it'll create that demand for the kids to play, if that makes sense. But that's another topic. We can talk about that later. Leo, go ahead. Give Mike another question.
All right, let's keep going here. We have a few more. Next question is, it's kind of a general question though, Mike. What has USA Racquetball accomplished to date?
It's a very general question. And from when? I mean, it's an institution that's been around a long time. I played in 25 national singles probably. I've probably played in 15 or more U.S. Opens. USA Racquetball had something to do with that. They continue to have all the tournaments that they do. Yeah, okay, we've lost members. There's been hiccups, and this is a pretty major hiccup that we're going through right now. But it's an institution that stayed around, and you know, I mean, I understand from what I see on the chat right now that you can have tournaments that are just not sanctioned tournaments. Okay, I get that, and I hope people do. But it'll be easier to have a bigger tournament, not just a local tournament, if you have the USAR, if you have rankings. You know, the fact that you have a ranking system that when you populate, you can automatically see where everybody's seated in the tournament. You know, there's just a lot of things like that. Is it a perfect organization? Heavens no. But it's an organization that we have. And like I said, it's going to a mostly volunteer organization. If you don't like what you see, call me. If you really don't like what you see, run for the board, be a voice, be a positive voice to help the sport go on. I'm always open to suggestions. I want everything to succeed. Somebody asked a question that I saw in there about what our plans are with war. That's a great question. I don't know yet. I play 3 outdoor tournaments a year myself. I love playing outdoor, both 3-wall and 1-wall. We got to do better than we're doing. I get it. That was Rick Bernstein's question. I get it. You know, I mean, you know, did we drop the ball? Yeah, maybe. I mean, but we've got, I get it. We've got to do better. I mean, maybe Sudsy was talking to me about maybe naming a executive director for outdoor within the USAR, maybe to report to me. I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know, we've got to do something for outdoor. The problem with outdoor, and even the good news is it doesn't cost as much to build a court or courts. But the bad news is that they're not everywhere. And so anyway, but I get it. We need to do a better job with outdoor. Got it. It's unfortunately not on my horizon in the next couple of months, but I need that to be on the horizon.
All right, Grisz, let's go ahead.
No, I agree. That's a big I think that the outdoor arm of our sport right now, especially, is vital to survival. You know, Grisz, we actually spoke today, you and I, and we both agreed, hey, anything with a racket and a ball, we're all for it. We'll do everything and anything we can. You know, if my kids want to go grab a
wait. Not pickleball.
That's not a racket. That's not a racket for all of you. That's a paddle. That's a paddle. I got to address this one, Leo and Mike. You know, it's important because it comes up often. You know, first, Corey, I appreciate that. You know, Corey asked how I'm not on the board, so I'll couple this because it's something that, Mike, I haven't addressed too much, and you weren't a part of this, so I think it's important I could say it with you here, and you can comment or not, and we can move on. So Robert Lyons says, you know, first Corey Litchfield says, why am I not on the board? Corey, I ran for the board. I submitted my name. There's a process. Leo can explain it. He was also on the board, and Mike can as well, but it's not important, guys. We don't have to talk about it. Corey, my name was not put onto the slate for you, the members, to vote for whatever reason. I guess I didn't make the cut. Robert, the reason I walked away from USAR as an ambassador, and Mike Grisz, he was always a supporter and, like I said, a friend, and I believe that today, and I believe that behind the scenes he was. Robert, the reason I walked away was there was a few things that had happened that I did not agree with, which I can't get into totally, offline maybe, but ultimately at the end of the day, I lost complete trust, faith, and confidence in the system, in the structure and the way USAR was run. And I didn't want to be part of it because I felt if I was part of it, if I was still the ambassador at the time, you remember I was doing these shows, I created that Real Racquetball show, which was far from real. You know, just from, I don't think they took real questions and real answers, exactly what Mike is doing tonight. So again, Mike, thank you. You're actually doing what my plan was. So Robert, I walked away because I just had no trust, faith, and confidence in the organization, the association, the way it was being run. And I decided and felt that the best thing for me, and my wife, Veronica, agreed, was let's just do what we feel is best for the sport. and that's it. Mike Grisz had nothing to do with that. He wasn't part of it. And
let me say a couple of things on that. First, I was turned down to run for the board 3 times, and here I am, the executive director. Go figure. The second thing is I want to thank both the two of you for what you do for the sport. You know, I mean, both of you are voices for the good of the sport. I will tell you, I mean, Leo and I have disagreed about a number of things, but I respect what he does for the sport. Sudsy, believe it or not, I don't agree with everything you say either. And you know, but that's all right. We're out there, we're pushing the sport. What we're doing right now is an important thing for the sport right now. And I may fail at this, but I'm not going to not try.
Yeah, you know, I agree. And look, Corey wants to chime in again and say you need to be qualified when applying, part of the process. Yeah, Corey. So apparently the voting board didn't think I was qualified. So, you know, the board members that are there, they are overqualified, or I didn't meet or fit that qualification. So be it. So yeah, did I feel slighted?
But Sudsy, that was a little while ago.
Well, I'm just answering.
I don't particularly agree with that process either. It is what it is. I can change what I can change. You know, now the executive director runs the day-to-day operations of the USA Racquetball, and I report to the board, just to be clear on that.
Leo, go ahead. You're up.
Before we get to the rest of the KRG questions, I like Frank's comment there. He said it more than once, a fill the court initiative. What do you think about that, Mike?
That's exactly what I said. I couldn't agree more, Frank. Couldn't agree more. I mean, again, you walk into I mean, Karen and I went down to the LA Fitness today at 4:00, and I get it a little bit early, but we got in there and there are 5 courts, beautiful courts. One was being used. If I'm the general manager of LA Fitness, and you know the big wigs are coming around and they're asking about the courts, are you going to stand up for the courts if you have so much of the time where they're not being utilized? Now it's good because an hour later, I think all 5 were being utilized. But, you know, I mean, racquetball's tough because you got that big area. Only 4 people can be in it at once if you're playing doubles. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try, but that's right, Frank. We got to get the courts filled. We got to get, if you belong to a club and you're there a lot, you need to take the initiative to start a league, get a ladder, something to get more people playing.
Thank you, Frank, for the comment.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the next one, Grisz. These are some tough ones. What bills have gone unpaid as a result of the revenue shortage?
Oh, I don't want to go into that. I mean, you know, the main one is we still need to pay Texas A&M. I mean, it's a big bill. We're going to pay it. You know, I mean, do I like the idea that I've got bills that are getting a little old? And the answer is no. But I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to go through every bill that we have. I'm trying to. I mean, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. If I'm still around in 6 months and the bills that we have now are not paid, I should be fired. And that's so we're going to do it. But yeah.
All right, next question from KRG from someone anonymous says, can we clearly define our target players and the areas where we will concentrate our attention and resources?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, but you know, the demographics of the players in the sport are getting a little older. We need to get young players playing, so the concentration needs to be on next gen. Which is why I'm spending so much time to make sure that the tournaments we run there this year will be good. I mean, one of the things is more and more of the colleges are actually having programs. And after I go to National Collegiate this year, you know, one of the things that needs to be done is to see where there are courts and not racquetball clubs, and to do that. You know, that's something, if somebody wants to volunteer and help me with that initiative, I'd love that. So I don't know if that was a direct answer to your question, but I tried.
Yeah, well, just a few more, Mike. The next one says, what is the vision for what USA Racquetball should be like in the future?
I want to have a better U.S. team. I want to have national events that are profitable, including the Open. I want to build junior programs that we can leverage the tournaments that we do. I want to strengthen the state organizations. I mean, you know, the most important thing is somehow, I mean, and I'm trying not to be trite. It's easy to say we want to support grassroots. That's an easy thing to say. The question is, how do you do it? And really, you know, because we went through a strategic planning process, and I've rolled my eyes at every strategic planning process I've done in my life, and last year's was no exception. And it was really it was a good exercise, but it's tough to take us like we can't use that strategic plan right now because I'm in survival mode. So I mean, you know, it's what you can do to develop an action plan that you can put in place for the next year to make yourself better, so that the action plan the next year is better than it is now. And there's so many different ways we can go. We can go next gen. We can go outdoor. A lot of different ways. I need help in that. I need suggestions. Remember, you give me suggestions that cost money. They get put at the end of the line. I need suggestions that I can do with the budget I have, which right now isn't big. Am I being honest? Am I being honest enough, Sudsy?
You're being beyond honest. I'm really happy with the way you're going about this. You deserve a glass of wine, because Mike, you've been transparent, honest, open. Again, we haven't gone through, you know, we didn't softball anything. I even told you today as a friend, full transparency. I said, Mike, I'm not going to have any layups for you. You know, I watched enough of these non-real discussions on our sport, and you could just see they were just easy softballs, and you've been exactly what I think the fans and members need. So I'm
let me respond to it. The Tom McCloskey. It says first thing out of my mouth is about the U.S. team. Sport growth was mentioned second or third. I think sport growth is an outgrowth of all of that. Of course, we want to grow the sport. Of course, we want to do everything we can for next gen to grow to get our friends playing everything. I don't take it that U.S. team is a priority over growth. Growth is through everything. We want to grow the sport. We want to stop hemorrhaging is what we want to do, but we do want to grow the sport.
Mike,
go ahead, Sudsy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Leo.
I only have two more of the KRG questions. You know, it's a big group. Frank sent a lot of questions. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. I don't get to most of them. I only have two more from KRG. How can donors help other than making a financial contribution?
Well, if you're a donor, you're making a financial contribution. I don't know on that one. Maybe ask your, all right, easy one. Keep your membership. If you know someone who's given up their membership, convince them to be members. I need everybody to keep their membership. I know a lot of times you say, well, what do I get for $60 or $65 if I don't play tournaments? Well, you help keep the institution alive, and if you play tournaments, it isn't that expensive. It's a tournament license, but I need people to keep their memberships. The second thing is okay, take the somebody who's playing that can afford to give money, have them give money. We need it. If you think that the USAR is worth supporting, right now I need money. The money isn't going in anybody's pocket. It sure as hell isn't going into mine.
Yeah, Mike, that's the key question. The biggest obstacle when I speak to donors and potential donors is why. And we've had this discussion. It's what's the reason? Is there enough reason to support USAR at this point or not? And I think that we've talked about it. and that's going to be the biggest
If
obstacle.
you're asking that question rhetorically, I'm okay. If you're asking that question because you don't know the answer, you haven't been listening. So, I mean, if you're if you've been on this call and you've been listening, and you're still not a fan of USAR, you're not going to keep your membership, or you're not going to donate, and you can afford to, then I can't help you.
That's exactly my point. My point
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I
There's going to
can't.
be a ton of people listening and watching, and they're going to say, "Great, we like what you did. We're going to support, or we're not." Some are going to say, "We still see no reason. There's just not enough." Not because of you.
And I have no answer for that. Then I'm not very persuasive or whatever.
No. But I think that where your support is going to come from the fact that you are being transparent, open, and I think that's going to help. And I think it's important. So I got another question. What are your top 3 initiatives currently right now? Because there's a lot of talk about all these things you're spending so much time and efforts on, whether it's Team USA stuff, whether it's rules stuff, whether it's
Safe sport.
We need
All right.
to have, what are your top
my
3
top
initiatives?
initiative is the donor program. I've got it. That's either going to, I leave for a 3-week vacation that I had planned long before that I took this job, and January 10th. I've got to get that wrapped up by January 10th. So that's my top thing. If you know somebody that is a racquetball player that has a little bit of money and is interested to talk to me, just have them contact me. That's my number one thing, because if that works, I can stop talking about this damn money situation, and then we can talk about other stuff. The other thing I'm doing, last night we had an events committee call. I know you love committees, Sudsy. And that was talking about.
I would delegate a lot of that, because I think that there's.
I'm not a delegator, and we talked about the singles doubles tournament. Tomorrow night, I have a high school call, and like I said, the high school people. You talk about people who have it together. The high school people have it together. And then in 2 weeks, next week, Karen and I run an LPRT stop in Maryland. But in 2 weeks, we have a collegiate call, and we also have a juniors call. And again, I'm actually looking forward to those meetings, because these are people who are as passionate as I am, and we're going to put on really good tournaments, and we're going to have. I hope I don't eat my words on that, but I really feel at this point we're going to have in each of those 3 tournaments, next gen tournaments, more participants this year than we had last year. You might say that's a low bar. Okay, I'll jump over low bars.
All right, I have one last. Let me get my one last KRG question in, and it is, what do you see as the next big trend in our sport?
I don't know how to answer that. Do I see the ball slowing down? Do I see more outdoor being? I could take that so many different directions. Right now, I want to see any trend in the sport other than a downward one. How about that? I know that's not a good answer, but I don't have a good answer for that one.
No, Mike, the best answer is when you're open, honest, and transparent, like you just were, and you said, I just don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is the answer that people need to hear, and that's okay. Mike, on a human note, right, on the human side, because I know there's going to be 1 or 2 more questions flying in. This is really your moment. I want to know, what's been the most difficult thing for you since accepting this position, in trying to ultimately save an association that a lot of people want to see fail?
Well, that's a disconcerting thing to know that there are people that play racquetball that want us to fail. I can't even relate to that. And it's not a person I really want to talk to. And if you're on this call and you're listening and that's the way you believe, I'm sorry. I think the most disconcerting thing to me was that for the first 3 weeks of the job, every time we talked about finances, the U.S. Open loss got worse and worse. And it was a sinking feeling that I didn't think we were going to make it to the end of November. I feel much better now. I'm getting my arms around the job. I mean, I have a lot of positive momentum. I told you a lot, Z. I mean, I was not having fun at the job. I can only tell you that was in the last week. I feel much better about things. I feel good about being on this show. I feel good about the tournaments we're going to have in the early part of next year. We got a lot of work to do. I got to pay off. I got to get us out of the financial mess. I've got to figure out how we're going to do the Open next year. Okay, that consumes me. If there are things on here that people want me to address that I'm not, I'm sorry. I've got to get these things done. You know, I think, and Norm, I disagree with you. I think there is a plan to succeed. I think we can do it. It may not do all the things everybody wants to do, but it can still be, you know, the community, the set of tournaments that we have, you know, the focus that we can do and help next generation. We can still do all that. So anyway,
Mike, I want to ask you a question because I'm reading the information that was just put out, and it says USA Racquetball faces a financial situation where we must raise nearly $100,000 by the end of the year. And I certainly appreciate, and I can hear the passion. I can see what you're trying to do, but what if you don't raise the 100,000? Have you thought about that at all, or does that not even enter?
I will tell you, we will keep on. You know, there will be bills that don't get paid. I will do the best I can. You know, I mean, I will tell you, you know, I mean, Karen and I could put in 100. I mean, not that we have a lot of money, but we could. I'm not doing it by myself. If the racquetball community doesn't step up, I'm not doing it. That's why I've got to get 8 other donors. I'll put some money in, but you know, the racquetball community this has to be important to everybody, not just me. And but we're going to keep going on until we can't. And you know, if you look at a budget for next year, it's positive. It's in the green, but it's not in the green enough that I can take the money that coming in and pay off those damn bills. So I need to get back to even so we can, you know, we can focus on other things. It's not fun to have a focus on survival. I don't want to focus on survival. I want to focus on growth. There you go. I want to focus on growth and doing other things. And Norm, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Mike, what is your background really quick on wealth management, finances, and money for people that don't know? How much experience do you have? And
I was a tax CPA and financial planner. I have a CPA. I have a CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. I was a CFP. I worked 40 years in the business world in that. Actually, almost 40. I mean, I think I went through 39 tax seasons. I'm so sick of tax returns. I don't even do my own. But I did that for years, and mostly in Texas. I graduated from Arizona State, started playing racquetball there, moved to Oregon, lived there for 6 years, played racquetball there, moved to Texas, played racquetball there for 32 years, and then I moved to Virginia, and I've been playing racquetball here for 5. So,
that is impressive. All I have though, Mike, is a CBD, and you know, that's all that is a crushing backhands daily.
You asked. I wasn't trying to brag. You asked, but I don't know what. I understand.
My sister on the phone, you know?
I understand, and my wife, you know, smarter than me. I mean, she's got a CFA. She had a big time government job. We were both happily retired until about 6 months ago. So
I can't believe you. You know what? I still can't believe you're doing it. My CBD is running out. Yours clearly doesn't. But you know, Mike, we do have to let you go. You and Karen taking this.
Thank you.
Whoa! I'm not done.
Oh, Chad, you'll love taxes now, but you'll get over it, pal.
Karen, can you jump in screen just so we can say thank you, please?
Oh my god.
Karen, thank you.
Her hair.
I was gonna say I took a shower. I didn't like blow dry my hair or anything. I wasn't supposed to be on camera.
Well, that's how we keep it actually really real here on Beyond
It's
the
really
Court.
real.
And Karen, I just seriously thank you so much for all the hard work you do. It's constant. It's been for years between your pro stop, all the stuff you do at the national events, and now supporting my buddy Mike in this possibly an impossible mission. So, you know, it's really hard. And thank you from myself,
We're
the
hoping,
show,
we're
and
hoping,
fans.
we're hoping not impossible. And I mean, I give him the support. Like he said, when he said he was going to get this job, I was just like, he was kind of lucky he didn't get divorce papers, but I support him 100% because I also have been playing this sport for 30 plus years and I love this sport. And, you know, I've been, you know, attached to it in various levels, you know, for the whole time, running tournaments at state, regional, national levels, and now involved with the IRT and the NMRA and everything, you know, all that stuff like that. And it's because we both love the sport and we have the best intentions. We want to do what is right. I encourage everybody, if you can help, please reach out to Mike. Let us know. I mean, we can always use volunteers, whatever level. We can always use volunteers at any kind of level, whether it's host more one-day shootouts at your club just so the courts are getting used, right? The grassroots things we were talking about. Anything you do, just do what you can. I do, you know, I try to do a lot on the local level. A lot of people know me from the national events or from my relationship with the IRT or the NMRA, but, you know, I do a lot locally too. And I think that's important. I mean, we're trying to make sure that the clubs that we have keep the courts that they have to give the new generation that access. So whatever you can do at the local level, please do that. Bye.
Thank you, Karen. You know, it's amazing, Mike. I know you're
Thank God for my wife.
She's definitely the boss. We know that. So
So
Mike, Karen, again.
No doubt about that.
Leo, if you have nothing else, I know we have tons of members and fans that'll want more. They can continue to send questions in the chat. As you can see, Mike is going to be transparent, honest, and open and answer these questions. So, Leo, if you have nothing else, I think it's about time we let
Hey,
Mike.
my email address, everybody, and don't use that one. Karen,
No.
you use my AOL address.
All right. Well,
What is it, Grisz?
I'll put it in the chat.
You put it in the chat, but tell us what it is.
mgriz@aol.com.
All right, he likes that.
Grisz. Spell Grisz right,
G-R-I-S-Z.
everybody. G-R-I-S as in Sam, Z as in zebra.
Well, Mike, I just want to say thank you for taking the time and answering the questions.
Yeah, and I know
I appreciate.
I didn't answer everybody's questions. I'm sorry. Call me if you want.
We got to most of them, and I know everybody appreciates it. And hopefully, if we didn't get to their questions, and they can send them to you to your email. But thank you, Mike, for coming on. Suds?
Thanks. Talk to you guys.
That's it. Mike, thank you very much. You know, I appreciate your transparency, your honesty. This is by far, I would say, the most open and honest that anybody from USAR has been to the racquetball community. And I speak for everybody, all of our fans and everybody watching. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
All right, Mike.
Good night.
Leo, I mean that 100%. That was you know, there's going to be a lot of people that don't like the answers, don't agree. There's still not enough. I know you're receiving messages. I'm receiving messages. You know, whether you, it's been blowing up. Whether you agree or not, whether it's enough for you to support or not, that was the most honest and open I believe anybody from USAR has been as long as I can remember.
Well, you got to consider the situation. You know, it's a dire situation right now. Now, you know, like Grisz said, we can't live in the past. We have to live in the now and in the future. So now they're sharing the numbers. Now we're hurting. And, you know, hopefully Grisz can get his angel program going. You know, honestly, it's not a lot when you think about it. You know, I mean, it's a big number overall, but I think we have enough people in the sport. Hopefully some people will consider that and, donate to the Angel program. What'd he say? $5,000 to $8,000 to $10,000. He only needs about 8 or 9 of those, 10 of those people. He's willing to match. So it's an achievable goal.
I think so too. I mean, I think that even look, Dave Negretti, a mover, a shaker, an influencer in our sport. He appreciates. He said, "Great job, Mike." Negretz is somebody that can move the needle and continues to do that daily. So I think it was good. It was a good discussion. And one Wallball said it earlier, Leo. I think the important thing is that we're actually having the dialogue now. And I think that one of the frustrating things for many of us would honestly be that a lot of times we were shut out. Nobody wants to talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's not answer real stuff. Mike took it head on. And again, it's up to the members to decide, or the potential donors, if that's enough for them to get involved, if that's enough for them to give or donate more money. I don't know, Leo, this could be a tough one for you. If you had the ability to write a check, did you get what you wanted?
Here's a great comment from Lance Hale right here. Imagine if every member just donated $100.
Imagine.
Imagine being the key word. It's belief, and hopefully after what you heard tonight, if you believe in Mike Grisz, if you're willing, like he said, to live in the now, not in the past, previous staff, previous board members, going forward, if you believe in Grisz and you believe in what he's doing, make a donation, whether it's financially, fill the court initiative that Frank Lopez kept bringing up, leagues, tournaments. There's a lot of ways to support USA Racquetball.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us do that, Leo, and we do it whether it's directly or indirectly. We love racquetball, right? We have the passion for it. We're all, look at you and I. We don't get paid to do this. Maybe there's some collateral benefits to it. But at the end of the day, it's all because we share that same passion. And you and I, we were having a conversation 2 days ago, and you looked at me and I looked at you, and we were like sad at the current state. We were genuinely had a moment of emotion of where we're at. And neither one of us, as much as we want to help and we continue to do and give, and, is there a silver lining? We'll never give up, right? We know that. But
who's to blame? Who's to blame? We didn't want to talk about that tonight because it's not Mike's fault. Mike was not.
It's not.
He wasn't in charge. So who's to blame? How far do you go back and blame? Do you go back to the last ED or the last 2 EDs or the last president or the last 2 presidents? Because there has to be accountability, and you've preached this. You preach this. My coach preaches it. All the people that are in my circle preach that accountability. You have to have accountability, and who's accountable for where we are now?
No, Norm. Norm is never at a loss for words. And Norm, we appreciate it. No, it's not all better now. It's far from better. It's not even close to better. But the dialogue is happening. And I guess that's the question. What everybody needs to continue to discuss is there a better? What's going to make it better? Are we going to, how do we make it better? I think we're all going to continue to play racquetball. I think, Leo, an important thing too is everybody that's watching this or paying attention to it, we all love the sport the same. We're all going to play as long as there's courts, right? We're still going to love racquetball. We're still going to talk about it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. But are we really the focus, or should we be thinking much bigger? I don't know. You and I are diehard, players and fans and influencers and promoters. But at the end of the day, we're going to be there no matter what. I'm sitting in a hotel lobby and I'm watching, 30, 40, 50 people walk by. I want those people to be interested in racquetball. And it's not I'll stand up, I'll show my shirts and talk racquetball. I've done it. But, there is a responsibility and an accountability that a governing body or the tours need to take on. And, there's only so much we as individuals can do, and you, the fans, the players, the members can do. But it's got to start with you yourself. It starts from within. It starts with, Leo, us doing this, and we're not receiving a paycheck for this, and we talk about it openly. We're going to do a show at some point, and say, hey, this is a fundraiser for Leo and Sudsy and Beyond the Court. So we'll see. I mean, I see Mike Martinez, Kennex on here. Mike, we're definitely going to bring you on. I think that it's important. You know, I love some of your ideas. You're a guy that's been here. You've been through the good and the bad, and you've survived. And I think it's important for everyone to hear how you've done it. And yeah, there's no doubt. You know, USAR, Leo, my 3 initiatives. If I took the keys to the kingdom, not that it's much of a kingdom these days, it would definitely be in no particular order: donations, U.S. Open, and membership and events. And of course, that would be to pay off those bills. But everything else, and that's my concern, Leo, is the structure and the way that the 501c3 is formed and the way they have to operate. Are we really putting all the necessary and proper energy and focus into the areas we should be, or are we forced to do other things because of that?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Say Sport, like Grisz said, he had to attend all these meetings and, this U.S. team stuff. There are some people that aren't going to agree with the level of importance of having a U.S. team. So, Grisz is going to have to prioritize and figure out what's most important for the sport. What I think is important may differ from what you think is important. There's a lot of people that are passionate about juniors. There's a lot of people that are passionate about collegiates. There's a lot of people passionate about grassroots and U.S. team. And so everybody's going to have different levels of passion. But I think right now, like Mike Martinez said, the number one goal for Mike Grisz is to get this organization out of debt. And that's going to be a challenge for him. They just did the Giving Tuesday fundraising campaign, didn't reach their goal of 10,000 that we know of, but I do know there are some very generous people out there, and I've seen it happen. They'll come forward, they'll probably talk to Grisz and say, hey, I only collected 8,000. Boom, somebody will pop Grisz $2,000 and they'll meet their goal. So it's going to be up to the people. Like we said tonight, go back, watch this episode, and you can see and you can hear and you can feel the passion in Mike Grisz's voice. Let's see if that relates and translates into doing what he told us he wanted to do.
Yeah, we'll see. And again, we'll move on now and talk about some of the other things, Leo. But again, Mike, thank you for coming on. If you're just tuning in now and you didn't get a chance, Mike took it. He took the tough questions. He did the best he could. And we appreciate that. And we hope you, the fans, and everybody did as well. So, Leo, what's next? What's next on our discussion?
I think we're going to play a commercial, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the IRT, the Pelham Open. We got a Treasure Coast Series update, and then one more small announcement, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Don't move, everybody. We'll be right back. But Jules has a message for you.
We exist. Racquetball is an amazing sport. It helps you obviously physically and mentally, but it helps you in life in general. And definitely say that you should all go play.
Play racquetball.
I mean, that's perfect. She just says at the end, play racquetball. Thank you, Jules. My girl. I hope she's watching in the room. I don't know, maybe not. If you are, Jules, come out here and come into the lobby. Veronica, bring the kids out. Let me say hello and show them that we're constantly working on racquetball together. Same for you, Leo. I appreciate it. So, Leo, let's go. What are we talking about?
I love that, man. I always love I've been around your family, and then I watch the Treasure Coast series, and I tell you, man, it's so fun and so refreshing to see your kids grabbing a racket and running in the court in between games during timeouts. So thank you, man, because that's what really meant a lot to me as I was doing my racquetball programming. If the parents could just get the kids involved, then, what more can you ask for? So thank you for always keeping them around you guys at tournaments.
That's what we do, brother. You know that. And that, it kind of touches on truly what I believe we need to do. We need to get the parents involved. The reason you see that girl right there hitting that ball like that is because her parents do it. That is not something we taught. She's never taken a lesson. That's, like you just said, a little court rat, like we've all been, jumping in and out of courts. And you know how many
no glove.
You know how many people messaged me saying, where did she get that form? And I'm like, we never taught her that, man. That's just her watching and learning and wanting to go hit the ball. So pretty awesome. But Leo, I do, we've spoke about this. You got the dovetail mission going, and now's not the show for that. We'll talk about that. But it's not just go attack the kids. We got to get the parents of those kids interested. And that's what we have to figure out. And we'll get to that. But we got to move on because we do have to talk about the next topic. What do you got?
Yeah, we will. We for sure will. We're going to talk about the John Pelham Memorial Tournament of Champions. It's in Portland, Oregon. Starts tomorrow. The qualifying, the IRT singles qualifying will start tomorrow. I looked at the draws. They've been released. It looks like they've got 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock qualifiers. It looks like this tournament, obviously, if you don't keep up with it like we do, this tournament honors the memory of U.S. Army Specialist John Pelham, the son of Wendell Pelham. Wendell and his crew, Hank Marcus and everybody else there. They're the hosts of the tournament. They also use this tournament to raise money for their charities and awareness for the Oregon Youth Challenge Program, the Green Beret Foundation, the Military Adaptive Court Sports, and the Live Like John Foundation. So I'm looking for an all-team dovetail final. My guys, Andre Perea is number 1, and Lalo Portillo is number 2. So I'm looking for them to meet in the finals.
I love your passion and your dedication towards your team dovetail. But I will have to look at those draws to get a better understanding. Sight unseen, I believe Daniel De La Rosa is not there. Conrado Moscoso is not there, right? So that's number 1 and number 2. I'll go with my boy just to stay loyal, Alex Landa. How about that? We'll go with a Landa Bredenbeck final, and I don't even know, whichever Bredenbeck you want. Just put one of the Jake and Sam boys, the Beast Maids, in there. I really don't know. I think it's just amazing, Leo. You know, Wendell Pelham, John Pelham. I had the honor of wearing a USA armband when I played in the World Championships with Rocky in 2018 in Costa Rica to represent him. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's not about titles. It's not about accolades. It's not about winning money or any fame or, those people, those individuals that are fighting for our freedom every night. Thank you. There's not enough thank yous, and anything we could ever do. The fact that racquetball plays a small role in that is an honor, and we're grateful. So, Mr. Pelham, thank you. And John, we know you're watching, and we know you're up there smacking balls around. So keep it up, and that tournament's for you, buddy. We'll check in after, though, Leo, and go over the results.
Yeah, very cool. Super excited to see some players that I personally know from Oregon playing in that tournament. Tucker Elkins, Connor Laffey, Brian Anchetta, Jim Douglas will be there, Tammy Milkies, Brian Roberts, Sam and Lexi. Wendell is even playing in the tournament. And then my girl Sarah Freeman from there, one of my old U.S. Open OGs. So you guys have a good time. Enjoy it. We'll all be watching online. And like I said, an all-team dovetail final.
We'll make a side wager, you and I.
Yeah, smoothies.
Starbucks, maybe.
Yeah. All right, next up, we only have a couple more things to go. Update for the Sudsy and Veronica Treasure Coast Racquetball Tournament Series Numero 5. Event 5 of 5 is coming up December the 16th to the 18th. A little bit different twist on this one. I had to go do my homework. But remember, these events sell out because the limited courts, the limited court hours. So make sure you get signed up. There's still time to get in there. You go to sudsymonchik.com, get signed up. December 16th to the 18th. It's limited to the first 90 players. This one is going to be at the Civic Center in Port St. Lucie. How did you get that facility?
Yeah, we had to move it. Chad Bailey's been influential in a lot of the local committees. Keith Lewis, I can't not mention Keith, our tournament director. Just a great person. Look at that. We got 4 courts there, Leo.
Back wall glass, baby.
All 4 back wall glass. We had to step it up because the demand's been so great. Because as you know, you have to turn away too many people with only 2 courts. So we're moving this event number 5 to the Port St. Lucie Civic Center. We're going to double the amount of courts, which means ultimately we can kind of double the entries. You know better than I if that's the case or not, but we're going to try that. Now, the cool thing about this event are some of the special guests we're going to have. Monty Mejia, who just won the LPRT event and beating Paola Longoria in the semis, and then Alexandra Herrera, she's going to be there playing. She'll be also joined by Cheryl Lotz Of course, Veronica will be playing, Mari Cruz Ortiz. We're hoping that'll bring some more players out and up. Frank Lopez, I know, is going to be there. KRG, get out there, come on out, sign up. You sign up for 2 divisions. You can play 2 singles if you want, 2 doubles. And it's going to be a great time. And for those of you that haven't been to a Treasure Coast event, it's awesome. I can't thank enough, KWM, Frank Hotels, Sal and Dee Perconti, Team Dovetail, of course, Performance Chemicals, Carlos Cabrera, You're Amazing Angels on Earth, Chris S., I like that, Amy and George, Easy Access, Leo. You see how I got to run through those sponsors? You know what's cool? Some of those, they don't want to hear their name. They're like,
Who's the
"Don't say
official
that."
ball? Who's the official ball?
You go ahead and say that.
Head pin. Which ball do you play with? The HD? Purple? Yeah.
Purple HD. Yeah, they love it. It's great. And it's great. Everybody, I feel like we've created, and I know you've had this feeling, Leo, I feel like we've created something that people not only want, but it's like they need it. It's that old school feel of being around the event. It was so cool. The last event, Frank Lopez, he drove up. He was driving through and he stopped on Sunday to hang out with us for a few hours at the event number 4. And, it was great having him, and he can't wait. Trevor Morgan, he's a regular. He's on Team Treasure Coast. Hey, Trev, it's going to be a good time, Leo. We're still trying to get you there. We haven't solidified that yet. Hopefully with some sponsors and donors, we'll make that happen. But, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what I can to get you there.
I'm looking for a couple sponsors that are out there. So if you guys want to help get me to Florida, our plan is to continue doing what we're doing. We want to do a couple live shows from there. We want to continue to promote racquetball. So, I'm not really playing in the tournament. So just trying to find a way to get there and continue to do what we do, keep the fans engaged. So if you'd like to help me get to Florida, reach out to Sudsy or I, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're looking forward to it. So everybody, if you can, go get in now. It sells out. We need you to enter ASAP. Go to sudsymunchik.com. Go to event number 5. And to answer the question that has been flowing, Leo, yes, the series will continue. I just reached out to my sponsors this morning. And let's play a little trivia. I immediately got a response without any questions. And basically, it was the sponsorship fee. Who do you think that was? There was no questions, no nothing. All of a sudden, I look and boom, you get your Venmo, and it says sponsorship for the series.
Todd Boss.
I'll give you a hint. It's an existing sponsor.
Todd Boss.
KWM.
No. KWM. Keith Miner, obviously.
Frank Lopez, Robert Lyons, nailed it. Look at that coming in. Trevor, Frank Hotels, because he saw Frank Hotels. He met Mark Frank. That was great. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. Keith Lewis is online. We're going to have Keith on, Leo. He works hard. He's doing it. He loves racquetball. He wants to learn. He's one of those guys that loves the sport, along with Bailey, who I coach as well. And I can't thank Keith and Bailey enough for the job they do. We really appreciate it. And of course, Chad Bailey, thank you. Frank would be number 2. You know what, Robert? You're right. And I spoke to Mark, Frank Hotels. He hasn't even checked his email yet because he's been traveling. So thank you to everybody. Thank you always, as always. All right, Leo, what do we got next?
We just one or two more quick things. We'd be remiss if we did not mention the kids, the parents, the coaches, the family members, and all the volunteers that are traveling to the IRF Junior World Championships in Guatemala. I just want to say safe travels and good luck, especially to all of Team USA, first of all. But Suds, you and I, we have a lot of friends internationally, so we want to wish everyone luck. This is the biggest stage for the kids, the juniors, the World Cup, which is now 21, 18s, and 16s, boys and girls, singles, doubles, and mixed doubles, which is really cool. And then the Esprit Cup, the little bitties, what we used to call them, but the 12s, the 14s, 12s, and 10-year-olds. So good luck to them. You can follow online. Go to internationalracquetball.com. They got a YouTube. They got a Facebook page. You can follow Team Dovetail. We'll be posting and following all of our kids. We have 6 kids on Team Dovetail going to Junior Worlds. What are your memories and thoughts about Junior Worlds, Suds?
Man, Junior Worlds, I wish Veronica was here too. She had a great, career in the juniors and world championships. A couple of things, titles. I remember winning the 18 and under my last 3 years. That was pretty cool as a 16-year-old. And then on the way out, I won it 3 times. Meeting players from all over different countries, and the Javier Morenos in Mexico, and Fabian Balmaris, and of course all the great U.S. players. Just the camaraderie, Leo, but the competition. We wanted to be better than the other country. There's no doubt. We were there to beat each other, but everybody was super excited just to be together, just to play racquetball. There's no doubt about it, and really that was the truth. I remember, and there's a lot of Florida people online, my last Junior Worlds I won was at Racket Power in Jacksonville, Florida, not too far from where I am now. I would say fastest court in racquetball, no doubt about it. It was a fishbowl. It was a rocket. Anybody that's ever played there knows. I see Tim Sweeney's name coming up. Tim Sweeney and I won the national doubles there too, and I just think it was too fast, that court, Leo, for some of us power players going against some of these other players. But it was just amazing to see racquetball being played by, players from all over the world. And it was really awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. To, Tim Baghurst, good luck. Your first stint as a coach. I know it's difficult because all these players today from all over have their own personal coaches. So it's a lot of work for you. To all the players, best of luck. And this is my only advice, Leo, that I would give all these players. Go play the ball. Don't play the name. Don't play the country. Don't play the seed. You play racquetball somewhere. Now you're just going to go play it in Guatemala. Continue to play it. Go believe in yourself. Believe in your training. Work hard. Have fun. Be respectful. And good things will happen. All right? But take it seriously. It's okay to want to win. It's okay to want a gold medal. It's okay if you lose. Don't ever be afraid to fail. But go out there to compete. Respect your opponent. Respect the fans. Respect the game. Go work hard. Good things will happen. Who knows? Maybe you'll win a world championships in the juniors, in the adults, and just keep playing. Keep playing, and good luck to everybody. It's going to be a good time for you guys.
Great advice, man. Thank you for saying that. I hopefully, we do have some juniors that follow us and watch the show. I know.
Not enough.
So, no. And, I would say to them, if you are watching, because they do, let me know. Makes me feel good. But hey, reach out to Suds. If you need a little inspiration, a little motivation, send him a private message on Instagram or Facebook. He's been there. He's done it. So thank you, Suds, for sharing, all those positive messages.
Yeah, my pleasure. Amir, to answer your question, is there going to be an outdoor tournament in the series? Yes, I am planning on doing at least one. Keith Lewis is online right now. Keith, we are going to do an outdoor event at some point in the Treasure Coast series. No doubt about it. Here's the last shirts. Love these colors, Leo. I got one for you. Thanks, Jonathan Clay Rollout, hooking us up with some cool shirts. We're going to add some outdoor to it. Keith, if you can put that in the chat box, the name of the venue where the 4 courts are in Port St. Lucie, not too far. And Leo, Joey Logan's online. He's having an event also this weekend. I believe it's this weekend, and it's going to be over in Tampa. Joey, you can throw the link up there if you're still watching. Sorry.
I have it. Here it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, great. Coolio. Go check it out. Go support Joey's event. Veronica and I were going to go, Leo, but we can't make it. We have, thanks to one of our great supporters and sponsors, also Chris Steinheiser, very generous. We just can't get there. Veronica's mom's coming in, and we have a full weekend planned. But I promise you, Joey, we will get there at some point because we will be at the Beach Bash in March. So Sandhill Crane Park, that's where we will have a Treasure Coast Series outdoor event in 2023. What do you got, Leo? I see you looking a little bit.
I'm getting a lot of messages, and then somebody from Team Dovetail said, "Get your ticket." I wonder what that means.
What does
series
that mean?
number 5? Get your
Clarify.
ticket.
Who's Team Dovetail? Who's got access to Team Dovetail?
And speaking of Team Dovetail, before we go tonight, I do want to say, obviously you guys know that I'm part of Team Dovetail. I'm super excited and super proud. We just made an announcement that the LPRT and Team Dovetail is going to work together, and we are going to offer junior clinics at every single LPRT event going forward. So congratulations, Team Dovetail. Congratulations, LPRT. we're going to make it work. We're going to make sure that either Holly, Kaylani, or Maria Renee, or even if our other younger juniors are there, Naomi, Ava, any of our girls, if they're there, we're going to have them help out as well. So ProKennex, probably releasing the information a little too early, but ProKennex has stepped up, and ProKennex, you'll see the announcement coming. ProKennex is going to be the official equipment provider. So we got all the bases covered. We're super excited. It's just another initiative of the Dovetail mission.
That's excellent. And we'll have Mike Kinkin on. Mike is also one of our sponsors of the Treasure Coast series. We appreciate that. Mike, check your email. I did ask about the series 6 through 10, and we might mix in a little outdoor in there. So it'll be fun and exciting. Again, if it's a racquetball racket and a ball, Leo, let's do it.
Hey, really quick before we go, I know the comments will keep coming. Tom McCloskey wants to ask if there are any updates on Kane.
Yeah, he's what now, 5 weeks out. You and I both speak with Kane offline. We'll have him on, we'll have him on the show. It's a rough recovery. Obviously, torn Achilles sucks. But he's coming out strong. He's walking on it, and I think we'll leave that to Kane to fill everybody in, Leo.
Yeah, you guys want to have him on the show, let us know. I know he'd love to get on here. The coaching is going really well for him. I can tell you that. Like Sud said, we speak to Kane frequently. And the coaching is going really well. He's got his hands full, and he's got some champions that he's breeding. So look out.
I might have to send Jules over to him. Talk about that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
She doesn't need any help with her forehand, that's for sure.
It's unbelievable. I can't wait to see her start ripping backhands. So, Leo, again, I can't thank you enough for being part of this. We take this on. We do it because we love the sport. We feel a responsibility to the fans, to the players, to the members. And thank you for joining me every night to help, or every time we do this. And obviously a lot of the stuff we do each day that people don't see and hear about to continue to promote the sport. So, Leo, thank you very much. Of course.
Yeah. Before I say goodnight, I just do want to thank my sponsors, of course, you guys that keep me in the game, keep it possible for me. Obviously, Mike Kinkin and all my Team Dovetail members, thank you guys for keeping the passion up and high. Good luck this week and then next week at the LPRT event. I want to thank Fran Davis and Headpen Racquetball, my sponsor. And then, of course, Keith Miner, KWM Gutterman. Keith, thank you, man, for always supporting me and believing in me and keeping me along for this ride. And then I also want to thank Jim Heiser for the World Singles and Doubles Open Championships. I work for Jim on his marketing team. We're going to have Jim on the show very soon, hopefully before Christmas. And so thank you guys. And last but not least, Suds, thank you and Veronica. Thank you guys for all the little things that you do for me, the big things that you do for me. And thank you guys for tuning in and watching tonight. You guys kept the chat flowing. Thanks for all the private messages. So thank you.
So we're going to come to the end of the night here. And I want to thank, and let everybody know too, you see the banner that's around Leo and I, our pictures there. Obviously, you see my logo. You see my personal friends, relationships, and sponsors, KWM Gutterman, Performance Chemicals, Mike, and of course, Frank Hotels Mark. They don't pay Leo and I, the show, directly for that. I put that there because I love them. They're always there for Veronica and I. They support us. And in fact, as Leo knows, and many of you know, I've accepted a full-time position outside of racquetball. So it won't take me fully away from racquetball, but I'll be the director of business development. I'm looking forward to it. And that opportunity has come because of racquetball, and I appreciate that. And you won't really see too much of a change in my racquetball presence as far as my involvement. There's no doubt I'm still going to be doing everything I do as it was directed by Mike, that he still wants me to be involved. That was his biggest concern, that I would leave. I'm not leaving. I'm never leaving. Don't forget my wife is Veronica, and you saw Jules' forehand. So I'm in racquetball for life, but I'll be busier. So I'm going to lean on Leo a lot for that. And, if you want to sponsor the show, where you see my logo, we could throw your name, your banner up there. Reach out to me, sudsy@sudsymundchik.com. Message Leo, message me, and we can discuss it because it all helps. And Leo and I are still going to do a 24-hour show at some point. We'll see when that's going to happen. But again, you know, none of this happens without you, the players, the fans, the members. Whether you love us or hate us, we see you're watching, we see you're paying attention, and that's truly what matters to us, is that we can be there for you too, and that we could, you know, bring you all the good stuff, the bad stuff, the important stuff. It's not just about being positive, it's about being real. And like one Wallball said, they said it's important to have the dialogue, and that's what we're doing. So, you know, we present this platform, Leo, we facilitate it to be able to communicate to the world of racquetball our love. We have some producers in the background that aren't there. Again, I have to thank Scotty Mack and Ellie for being the first ones that, you know, we ran with this a long time ago. It says episode 62 tonight, but quite frankly, it's probably about 100 if you date back to before the times we put numbers on it. Mike Grisz, thank you tonight for coming on. Good luck with USA Racquetball. It's going to be tough, but Karen's by your side. You have some good friends, good supporters, and I wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully we will get out of this. Veronica, I love you to death. I'll say it again. I'm not in racquetball today without you, and I appreciate that. You're my love. You're my best friend. We'll continue to do this, and maybe we'll keep a racquetball racket in Jules' hand, but also we'll throw a tennis racket in a golf club because, you know, Mateo is coming as well. With that said, everyone, have an amazing evening. We're going to close it out with one of our sponsors' commercials. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Watch some racquetball. Leo and I, we might be back, Leo, Sunday? What do you think? A little Beyond the Court Sunday night, Monday night? My mother-in-law is coming in for a month, bro. We might be doing shows often. She's an amazing
Let's
woman.
do it.
It's going to be nice to have some babysitting time. So, everyone, we love you. We are Racquetball, indoor and outdoor, Amir. I love outdoor racquetball. We're going to keep it going. And thank you again. Have a great night. See you on the next episode of Beyond the Court.
Te amo.